Today, I'll focus on the distinction between ideas and opportunities, a foundational lesson in business plan development. Ideas represent possibilities, creative concepts that could become something valuable. Opportunities go a step further. They require us to examine whether an idea is viable, relevant, and capable of supporting a real business. The key is learning to see not only what's possible, but what's viable. That shift in perspective helps transform initial thinking into a more grounded and purposeful business plan. An idea is only the starting point. What matters is whether that idea can become a viable business that creates real value. Not every promising idea is a genuine opportunity. Without that distinction, entrepreneurs may spend significant time, money, and energy pursuing something that was never capable of succeeding. Developing an opportunity lens helps founders evaluate ideas more objectively, identify which ones deserve deeper investment, and avoid becoming attached to concepts simply because they are exciting. This ability to filter ideas is one of the most important skills an entrepreneur can build. An idea is a thought, concept, or possibility, often sparked by curiosity, frustration, or inspiration. The key point is that ideas are abundant, but not yet validated. Anyone can generate dozens in just a few minutes, which makes having ideas relatively easy. What remains unknown is whether a real market exists for any of them. Ideas are also internally driven. They usually begin with a founder perspective, rather than with proven customer demand. That distinction matters, because an idea is only a starting point, not evidence of a viable opportunity. An opportunity is more than an interesting idea or a creative possibility. It is an idea that has been tested against market reality and shown to address a genuine customer need. In other words, it exists in the gap between what is currently available and what people actually want or require. A real opportunity must create value and support profitable, scalable execution. It also needs to be attractive, durable over time, and timely enough to matter in the current market. The core distinction is between an idea and an opportunity. An idea starts with an internal concept, like building an app that connects dog owners with local groomers. At this stage, it remains an assumption because there is no market evidence behind it. An opportunity is an idea supported by external validation. Here, reported booking difficulty and willingness to pay suggest a real, scalable need. The essential shift is from asking, could we build this, to proving, do people need it and will they pay for it? This framework provides a practical way to evaluate an idea before committing significant time or resources. First, examine the problem. Is there a genuine pain point worth solving? Next, look at the market and ask whether enough people experience that problem. Then consider monetization. Will customers actually pay for a solution? Finally, assess the competition and determine whether the market is underserved. If an idea fails at any stage, it is not yet a true opportunity. Refine it, gather more evidence, or be prepared to walk away. This slide contrasts two fundamentally different ways to approach a new product. Idea-driven thinking begins with the founder's vision, then looks for customers afterward. That can create confirmation bias, because teams may search for evidence that supports what they already want to build. Market-driven thinking reverses the sequence. It starts with a real customer problem or unmet need, validates whether demand exists, and then shapes the product around what people are actually willing to buy. The central lesson is simple. Understand the market before committing heavily to the solution. A promising idea becomes a real opportunity only when it passes three practical tests. First, the customer test. Can I clearly identify a reachable group with this problem and confirm it through interviews, surveys, or data? Second, the willingness to pay test. Are people already paying for imperfect alternatives? That behavior is stronger evidence than enthusiasm alone. Finally, the timing test asks whether the market is ready now, perhaps because of changes in technology, regulation, behavior, or demographics. The strongest opportunities align all three: a real customer, real demand, and the right moment. These examples show how strong ideas often begin as simple responses to overlooked problems. Airbnb connected unused space with travelers paying too much for hotels. Uber addressed unreliable, expensive urban transportation with a much simpler experience. Slack began as an internal communication tool for a gaming company, then proved more valuable than the game itself. The common thread is real-world validation. Each opportunity was confirmed through actual behavior, bookings, rides, or team usage, rather than assumptions alone. That evidence transformed a small experiment into a scalable business direction. Entrepreneurs often run into three common traps, and each one reflects a gap between enthusiasm and evidence. The first is the cool idea trap, becoming attached to novelty instead of confirming that the idea solves a real problem customers will pay to fix. The second is relying on friends' positive reactions as market validation, when personal support may not translate into buying behavior. Finally, the build first trap means spending months developing before a real customer has validated the concept. Test demand early before investing heavily. The key takeaway is that ideas are not opportunities until market evidence validates them. Talk with customers early, test their willingness to pay, and let data challenge assumptions. Finally, timing matters. The strongest opportunities appear when a real problem meets a market that's ready for a solution.